Morning all. How are we all doing? Happy October. First week of October. Thank God September's over. That was hideous. Survived, but hideous. Back to normal now, please, Mr. Market. How are you all doing? Morning, Peter, Amy, Christian, Kennelly, Rob, JC, Julian, Andres, Baggy, Day Trader, Ian, Sarel, Jerry, Monkey. How are we all doing? I haven't got long this morning because I've got to go and take my car in for a service. So I've got to leave at about 8:15, 8:30, something like that. Don't know. Yeah, so I've got to, it's not going to be a particularly long one this morning, I'm afraid. So this morning I'm just going to go through the news for the week, have a look at the over weekend news, go through all the positions, have a quick scan through the dashboard, see if there's any setups. And obviously we'll do the opening range breakout on the DAX. Hopefully we just get a quick, simple, easy 2R on the DAX in 15 minutes. That'd be nice. So that's the plan for this morning. Just to quickly recap on September. September wasn't the worst month officially I've ever had in the end, because Friday was awesome. Friday banked an absolute ton. So it ended up actually 8%. I've done some screen grabs basically so that we can see. There we go. So this was Friday evening, 9:50. Just about to see that, can't you? So managed to bank 6% on Friday because obviously all the moves we've been waiting for such a long time all kicked in on Friday and Thursday. So Thursday, you can see CAD Swiss, Thursday and Friday, it all started to fall into place. So banked 6% Friday, which left me on an 8.5% negative month, which isn't too bad. So in the grand scheme of things, that is a pretty good result. I've done an analysis of last month. You probably can't see this, but this is last month's trades. Every single pair was profitable without exception, apart from the pound US dollar. So it all fell apart on the pound US dollar. Every other pair made money on. So all good. But pound US dollar, that just the speed and the depth of the squeeze basically lasting over 2 months. Absolutely no way out of it. I've done an analysis, which I'm either going to do a blog post. I might do a blog post on it rather than a video. I don't know. I'll have a think about it. But I've done an analysis of September. Pound US dollar. I've done an analysis of every pound US dollar trade and where it went wrong. And that is, you can see on the screen, pretty obvious. 14 grand's worth of aggressive drawdown control loss, nearly 15 grand in aggressive drawdown control loss. That's where it all went wrong. If I hadn't have done aggressive drawdown control attempts, I would have been 7K up. So it all went wrong on aggressive drawdown control. 16 attempts, all failed. 3 of them, and this is where my learning curve is in this. My learning, always got to have a learning. When you're analyzing your losses, always need a learning point. For me, it's this. 3% of those aggressive drawdown control attempts doesn't sound like a lot, were over 1% loss. So I always set a maximum 1% loss on aggressive drawdown control positions. The whole idea is we want either this to be it and get us out, or it's not, and we get out and cut those losses. You get out with those losses. There's one trade there which was 2.7% loss in one entry on aggressive drawdown control. There's one there which is 1.5% loss. There's one there at 1.25% loss. Yeah. So on these 3 positions alone, there is 2.5% roughly of extra loss that I shouldn't have taken. So when you look at an 8% loss on a month, it's a big impact. Yeah. So I've never had, touch wood, a month where I've had aggressive drawdown control attempts fail. This is the first month ever. I've had plenty of aggressive drawdown control attempts where you have 2 or 3 entries, and sometimes I've had 5 or 6 entries fail, and then bang, it hits it, off we go, we're out, we're done. That's it. Problem solved. Never had 16 attempts go wrong. I think the problem, I had too many too quick. I was getting too aggressive with them. So I'm going to go through that in a bit more detail, but that's basically what happened. So at the end of the day, not a bad loss. 9%, 8.5%. I can live with that. Not nice, but I can live with it. I'm up 125% plus on the month, on the year. So, 8% is irrelevant really in the grand scheme of things, but obviously you don't want to take them. So that's what I've got on at the moment. We'll go through those in a second. Just going to start off with the news. There's nothing over the weekend that's come out. The annoying thing is the Bank of Japan hasn't moaned about aggressive FX movement, which is understandable when you look at what's happened with the US dollar yen. We had that nice big drop down, but this morning it's peaked back over that high again. They're not letting up at all. So I'm expecting some noise out of the Bank of Japan, either that or they're just going to go screw you and press the button and this will be gone at some point. We won't know, obviously, but they're not letting up. Look, this move that we had, which was like, oh, this is looking nice, completely undone on Friday. Total V-shaped recovery on it, as if it's just a pullback in a new leg. That new leg can't go much further, seriously. So I'm holding those US dollar yen positions. I've got quite aggressive positions on it, actually. So if we do get down into profit on this, I'm going to take one of those off because that's a little bit too aggressive. But nothing over the weekend from the Bank of Japan. There was lots of news come out from the Bank of Japan over the weekend, but it's just monetary policy stance, nothing to do with FX movement. China have just had their PMIs come out. All week we've got China holidays this week. Shouldn't really affect the market in any way, but they're off all week. Little bit of news coming out from Jeremy Hunt this morning. We've got him talking again a little bit later on, so there might be something that affects the pound coming out of that. So just looking at this week's news, today we've got PMIs for the US dollar at 3 o'clock after the market open. We've got Powell speaking later as well today. We've got the Aussie rates. So the whole focus of this week is around Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday morning is the Australian rate, forecast to 4.1. I think there's upside for 4.35 on that. We've got the CPI for the Swiss franc, very important number. The Swissies decided not to increase their interest rates unexpectedly this week, last week, week before, sorry. So what that CPI figure comes out as is going to be massively important. If that comes out as a negative, that means it was the right decision for the Swiss. If it comes out as a positive, it means it's the wrong decision for the Swiss. If it comes out above a 0, we should see a big rally on that Swiss franc. So, which means the interest rates are going to go up on the Swiss, and obviously their inflation's gone up, which is positive for the currency. So that could be a big one. So tomorrow morning, before the market opens, we've got main rate and interest inflation figure for 2 of the main currencies. So bank holiday on Tuesday, so there'll be no trading the DAX. We got jolts. The Wednesday rate is for the New Zealand dollar. That's a 5.5. Market's going to open in 2 minutes. 5.5. So I would expect a 5.5. Not expecting it to go any higher than that. We should stay where we are. If we don't, though, we're going to get a rally. Well, I don't know. We could get either way in the New Zealand dollar, but I suspect we'll get some volatility off of that either way. Lagarde, we got speaking. Then we've got non-farm employment and PMIs going into the unemployment claims on Thursday, finishing with the unemployment rate on Friday, or non-farm payroll, as most people tend to call it. But the unemployment rate is what moves the market. We've also got the Canadian unemployment as well. So big week. All kicks off Tuesday. So Tuesday massive, Wednesday massive, little bit of a rest on Thursday, and then Friday massive. So it's going to be a big week this week to kick off the month. Looking at the DAX quickly before the market opens, we've got 50 seconds. US dollar yen coming down this morning. Bitcoin, someone kicked Bitcoin up the arse. Boing. Overnight, had a big spike on Bitcoin. Did 200 ADR in one candle. Where have we seen this before? This type of price action. Where have we seen this type of price action before? We get these big spikes and then drop, big spike and then drop, big spike and then drop. Pump and dump. Crypto turned into a pump and dump instrument. Do not trade that crap. So DAX. So we've got the upside gap fill still available. Ooh, blimey, there's a bit of pre-market came in there. We've still got the upside gap fill available. There we go, market's opened. Big push up into the open there. So we've got that massive gap fill to complete to the upside. We've got a smaller gap fill to the upside there, but obviously we are coming down very hard on these. Now the US dollar is starting to weaken off a little bit. We might get some index movement this week. We're expecting last week to get a leg started. We have. We've pulled back straight into propulsion and bounced. So we're running into the propulsion move from Friday at the moment. But I suspect we're probably going to want to do a little bit more of a pullback on this. So another update today could be on the cards, but we'll see. So upside potential, we're looking at yesterday's high, which is Friday's high, which is just under ADR there. We've then got this weekly high, which is where we started last week, and a little bit of resistance there at 125. So upside, be looking at yesterday's high, Friday's high, ADR, 125 ADR. Looks like it's just tried to break to the downside. I'll have a look at that in a sec. Downside, Friday's low is very, very close. Failing that, we're coming back down into this propulsion gap here, which was the start of this reversal alert. So that propulsion gap at ADR is where we'll probably find some buyers. Could even find them there. So if you look at this from a market structure perspective, we've had the reversal alert, retest, new leg up. That's what market structure would be if we're going bullish. So this propulsion gap here, which caused the reversal, is where the buyers have added back into their positions. So if we come back down to here and retest that low from Friday, that would confirm that these buyers are in control, which means we should see a new leg up. Obviously, they sold off pretty hard in New York, which is where we are right now. So if we push back down into that area, there is potential that we're forming an M pattern reversal back that way. If we knew which one, we would do it, wouldn't we? But we don't. Right. So I'm not in anything yet. Just missed me that wick down. So there's your pre-market 15 break there. Well, it's not a break yet, but that's your pre-market 15 range. It has ticked down through it, but obviously this is why we have an offset so that we don't get taken by those. They're going short now. So short on the DAX. So yeah, yesterday's low, downside target. See if we can get down to there. Right, I'll come back to the DAX in a minute. We'll let that 5-minute candle play out. There's been a lot of talk in the Telegram group about prop firms and stuff and that leveled up society stuff. Just be careful with prop. Really be careful with prop. They're all going to vanish. They're all going to go bust. Or you're going to get a few that are going to stick around. They're going to hang around. They're going to be okay. But the vast majority of these are going to go bust. I know somebody that works in not in prop, but in marketing around prop, an affiliate basically. He's an affiliate. He's just an affiliate. That's all he does, affiliate stuff. And he hasn't had any sales for 2 weeks. So I haven't bought an evaluation since my Forex funds went belly up, because I'm not interested in putting any money into the industry until we're confirmed what the hell is going on with the industry. It seems that everyone else is pretty much in the same boat as me, not buying anything. So firms are quite rightly going bust very, very quickly. Yeah, if you've got an income coming in of 500,000, million, 2 million, 5 million regularly on a monthly basis, and then all of a sudden, and you're spending probably 50% of that back out in marketing, if all of a sudden everyone goes, I'm not buying anymore, and you've put all that money out in marketing and not got it back, immediately your P&L goes back to zero. Next month, you're bust. These guys will disappear within weeks. So just be careful with prop. All prop. It's coming out of the woodwork that a lot of these prop firms are owned by the same company. As we know, I've been telling everybody this for months. Yeah. 8cap. Yeah. They are a prop white label company. This is why there's so many prop firms out there with 8cap as a broker. Yeah. All owned by one bloke. Careful. They're all going to go belly up. And the ones that don't will be the ones that are doing it properly. But even I was reading a big article this weekend about FTMO and about Topstep. Yeah, and Topstep, probably one of the biggest, well-respected firms out there, where they work in the Chicago Mercantile Building. Yeah, all good. FTMO, biggest prop firm out there. None of them are regulated by anybody because they literally are a business. Their business is selling demo accounts. Yeah, so they don't have to be regulated by anybody. Yeah, the problem with the other company that's gone belly up is they were, pretending to be a CFD. They can't do that. So yeah, be careful. Leave them alone for a while until they've figured out who's the good and who's the bad. Morning, Greatfield. Morning, Neo, AZ, Virginia, David, Andrew, Evans. Loads more people coming in. Look, Dev, Lisa, it's time. So DAX short. There's your 5-minute ORB, 5-minute opening range. So break of that one. It's fairly big range today. But I'm short, so we'll see if we can get a move on that. Right, let's do some quick analysis because I've got to disappear. So ADRs today. Quick look at oil. Oil pulled back on Friday. Again, so with the second day down on oil, we were looking for that $95 on crude, which got hit. This is 94 on West Texan. But it certainly seems as if that was the area that the markets were aiming for. We've got a nice pullback on this. Demand is still there. Supply is still as it should be. So therefore, it should still rally. We should still see a rally on this because supply and demand dictates that it should still be rallying. But it's probably going to want to pull back a little bit, I think. So if we can get a break below this last week's low, I'll be interested in taking a 50% retracement, somewhere around there, long maybe. But I just want to cover that because obviously, there's no CADs actually to look at, is there? Just in case we're looking at CAD. We are New Zealand CAD, only one. But so that's oil. Aussie dollar Swiss is your ADR, first ADR today. So this Australian dollar, we had this big rally on the Aussie and then it's dumped again. So coming back down nicely, there's your ADR hit on this one. Swiss franc, we've got the rates coming out this week, so be careful with everything Swissy. That could well change dramatically when the news comes out. So the Swiss CPI figure is tomorrow morning at 7:30. So that's a nice ADR hit in accumulation. So we've got push, accumulation, push, pull back into that area where we bought from. So this is basically a price discovery which has failed, which either turns into a second attempt or a drop. So back out of that area. So like that as a long. Aussie dollar Swiss. Aussie dollar New Zealand. But obviously we need to see what happens with the Swiss franc. Aussie New Zealand. Aussie being absolutely run over. The New Zealand dollar went nuts last week. On Thursday, Friday. So as you can see, massive drop on this one. ADR hit again today. So yeah, another opportunity to long this. You only looking for a scalp off of these ADRs, so half an ADR, something like that. So a little bit of a pullback into that propulsion because it could well do another leg down, but wait for the M5 reversal alert on that one, which you've actually had, which is retesting right now. So there's your reversal alert. Yeah, that's potentially going to be your second leg going in at ADR. Euro odd extended to the upside, same thing, just had the reversal alert. That just missed the retest by a few pips basically. So there it is. Leg down. See if that holds. So that's an ADR hit to the upside on the euro odd. US dollar pairs, not really doing anything today. Well, yeah, US dollar tanking actually. Against the Swiss franc, look at euro US dollar. Yeah, big weakness on the US dollar so far today. So very nice. That helps me. So more weakness in the US dollar, the better, which means that we should see DAX basically dropping because the euro looks like it's, I don't know, maybe not. No, the euro is not really doing anything. This is just a load of US dollar weakness we're seeing coming in at the moment. So hedged on the DAX. I'll deal with that when I get back. So there's your ADRs this morning. RSIs, there's only a couple to look at. Pound CAD. So that is an hourly. So hourly hit to the upside. I'm long on this already. So this hit on Friday, I'm holding. I did get out of some of this. Trades all disappeared. There we go. So I got out some of this on Friday. So we had a nice big rally up. So I took one off. I took the lowest off basically just to put it in the bank, just in case we get a pullback. Yeah, back into propulsion and then a new leg up. So obviously I would have added that position back on again if it come down here. If it keeps rallying, that's fine. Still got that in profit. So just taking some off basically to make sure that I bank some profit on these big strong moves, just in case, because there's two things you've got to look at every time you're looking at a move like this. It's either a profit take and start of a new leg, or it's the start of a new market structure rally to the upside. We don't know which it's going to be. If it's going to be that one, which we don't want, I want to make sure that I've banked some money so that I can get the positions back on again. If you leave it to run forever, basically, and you want to get to that target there, and all it does is do that and then drop, you've missed all that profit that you could have taken. So always when I'm in a, well, this is how I do it anyway, but when we're in multiple positions and you see something pushing, it's worth just taking some profit off, basically. You can use this obviously to do drawdown control as well. So take a partial off of that or take a partial off of that just to bring that average down a little bit closer. But this is so close to average. That's my average. So pretty much break even on it. If we get an ADR hit today, I've got an exit on the whole thing. So I've taken one drawdown control. That profit there is way more than that drawdown control was, because that was only a third and that was a full. So if I can get up to there, I can actually exit the entire position and go done with it. But I've got a feeling we're going to see a little bit more downside in oil. The fact that the US dollar is weakening so much should bring the CAD down. So I think the pound's got a chance. So has the US dollar got a chance to rally at the moment. So I'm holding on to it for the minute. New Zealand dollar CAD. That one's extended to the upside on the 4 hour. So nice big rally. You can see this New Zealand dollar's had a huge bullish run for a couple of days. We happen to get that US dollar and CAD weakness at the same time, which is obviously giving this an opportunity to go parabolic, basically. So big extension on the 4 hour. Yeah, you look at the 4 hour RSI extensions when we get up to these sorts of levels. It's not often you don't get that beautiful big profit take move kicking in. Yeah. Tiny little one there and a tiny little one there, but that's part of a big parabolic move. That was, I don't know what that was, but that was some kind of fundamental shift that started back there. So yeah, looking for a pullback, at least into propulsion and then back out again. So a nice H4 M5 entry or M15 entry. Probably had an alert on that this morning, I would expect, in this chop somewhere, but that's your first reversal alert. Obviously this is where the market's kicking in now. London's open, so that'll be your first proper reversal alert today to go short. Not extended on the hourly. It was extended. I didn't quite get an entry on this on Friday. It was one of those which just about tapped over the level, but by the time the reversal alert actually triggered, it had come back down again below. So it's one of those that's kind of just skirting along the edges. I want my entries above that level, not touching that level, not sitting there doing that. I want it up here, I want it really extended. Yeah. So EA didn't get me in, which is fine, which is good because it's pushing again. So if we can get another big strong ADR out of this today, I will be getting in that one short. But it is 4 hour RSI extension. So you're up at a previous monthly. No, sorry, that is the monthly high of last month, isn't it there? So you're up at that previous peak. You've got another one here as well. We have just broken back above that 72 level. So that's quite a convincing break up there, which we did before. And then came all the way back down, head and shoulders. Neckline break. there, 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 there. So for 3 weeks, you took that neckline break going, is it broken? Is it not? Is it broken? Is it not? Head and shoulders. New Zealand dollar CAD. New Zealand dollar Swiss is the other one, extended to the upside on the 4 hour. That's come out now, so that'll be turned off in a minute. So that's coming down nicely. Got a few positions on this one, 3 shorts. Average is within ADR, so not worried about it at all. We got a big propulsion move there, obviously, from the Swiss National Bank not increasing interest rates, which we were expecting them to do. So we've got the CPI figure coming out on tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. If that comes out anything above a 0, this will be down here. Swiss franc will power up. So New Zealand dollar has obviously also had a good couple of days of rallying. You can't see it on this chart because the Swissie's been a little bit strong with it as well. So it's kind of a bit more of a sideways move on Thursday and Friday last week. But obviously, if that New Zealand dollar continues to be weak and we get that positive news on the Swissie, we'll be down there somewhere. If not, we'll be back up there somewhere, in which case we'll add another position on. So resistance on it. We're looking at a big propulsion move here. We got this high, which is pretty much where we are. That's where we've bounced. So that support resistance level there. That's not very clean at all. But it's kind of there and there. So that zone, basically. So these lows here that we hit and tested them again and again and again. Then we accumulated, broke through it, tested it, tested it, tested it. Yeah, that's the area we're bouncing from. So if you look at the size of this move, potentially on the higher time frame, we've got a nice pullback into propulsion there, and then there's the interest rate announcement. So we should be able to do that, at least that, or somewhere around there. You know, just if it's going to continue its next leg up, it's going to need to pull back at some point. So that's good for a short, but I'm already in it anyway. So there's your 4 hour. DAX has gone long, so I'll be watching upside on the DAX. Yeah, there isn't a lot, is there? So it's literally yesterday's high, and ADR's up there. I'm going to adjust targets to yesterday's high to the upside, which is just over 3R. Downside, yesterday's low, I suppose, but I'll leave that for the minute, seeing as we've broken high. Morning, Gisbert. Morning, Marco. Right, well, that's what I've got for you this morning. As I say, I've got to go and put my car into the garage. So I will quickly whiz over the positions I've got open at the moment. US dollar, so from Friday's perspective, anybody that took the opening range breakouts and decided to hedge them, I got out those very nicely on Friday. So I had a really good day on Friday. The DAX was a nice clean break, made about 1,500 on the DAX. I put in Telegram what these were. I can't actually remember. Did I? Or didn't I? Yeah, I'm sure I did. There we go. 1,100 on the NASDAQ, 1,200 on the DAX. So on the S&P. So that was what, about $4,000 day. So nice day on Friday. I've still got more work to do on this. I'm going to recode this today. It's missing entries when we get aggressive moves at the open. So I'm going to recode this. I've got 2 thoughts on this. The reason it's missing entries is because it can't do its calculation to create the lot size because it's using percentage risk. So number 1, easy solve. Don't use it. Just use fixed lots. Then we don't have to worry about it. Easy. Second is to have it work on tick. So when basically price touches that level or is above that level, place an order if there isn't one already there. The problem with that is I have to make everything work on tick. The testing will be 1,000 times slower, which is what I don't want to do. This is why I hate coding anything that works on tick, because if you code everything to work on tick, it takes forever to backtest. So I'm just trying to figure out a best way of doing it. I'm coming to the conclusion that with this new EA version, I'm just going to use fixed lots. So at the moment, I have options for percentage of equity to risk and a fixed lot. I'm going to scrap that, I think, because this is what's causing the problems. The problems that the EA has when it can't take a trade is when we get aggressive moves at the open and the market is moving so fast, what it tries to do is calculate a lot size using a stop loss, but it can't get everything done fast enough because the market is just too quick. So it goes, I can't calculate it, and then it goes, oh, sorry, I couldn't take it. If you use a fixed lot size, there's no calculations done. It's basically place a trade, done. Yeah, so that is the simple solution. And I don't have a problem trading fixed lots because it's easy to calculate a fixed lot. You stick it in the back tester with 5 and you go, oh, that's risking around about what I want to risk, and it's done. So I'm going to have a look at some options this morning, but what I just don't want it to do is keep failing to enter because it's missed some really good trades. However, it's also got me out of some horrible trades by not taking them because it couldn't work. Horses for courses, isn't it? So anyway, so I'll update you on that anyway, probably this afternoon. New Zealand dollar Swiss coming down, very nice. Swissy is powering up into the announcement tomorrow morning. So they are buying the Swiss franc ahead of the CPI figure. Market is expecting CPI to be increased tomorrow. That's good. Happy days. Right, so quickly before I go, I'm going to run over my positions. So banked, as I say, 6% on Friday. Banked 0.25% this morning. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So that was target hit. Look. So there was the entry on Friday, which was the H1M5 mean reversion entry. Target in the middle of that propulsion gap, straight into propulsion. Job done. So that was nice, easy in and out this morning, 0.25%. So the positions I've got on Aussie dollar CAD, again, took off that one. Why is there a TP there? Oh, because I'm short. Yeah. Swiss yen ADR. That'll be to the upside. So if you want to take another yen short, there's an option there. Don't get too overloaded on the yens though. Aussie dollar CAD. So that was the long Thursday. That was the H1M5 mean reversion entry Thursday. Got out of that on Friday. Really quick, easy trade. Then it rallied up. Sorry, Wednesday took it out on Thursday. Rallied up even further on Friday into that high, completed that propulsion gap. And then I took the short on the H1M5 there. So in, long, out, going short, back down into propulsion. Yeah. So looking for it to pull back into here. Aussie dollar yen, one on that at the moment. Short target, I've put all the way down here in case of an intervention. I'm not setting targets on the Aussies, on the yens. As you can see, long only, everything yen. CAD Swiss. So this was the bounce we were looking at on the 4 hour into this area here, which we got a beautiful bounce, and it's still coming down, nearly out of that. Took some off of it on Friday. Again, just in case. So took that one and that one off. That one is in profit. I only take positions off, by the way, if I'm leaving one in profit. Yeah. So that position there and that position there, as you can see, were taken off here. The reason I took it off on Friday was because I wanted to bank some money, but also we have one in profit. Yeah. If there wasn't a position in profit, I wouldn't have taken it off. So let's say, for example, that trade there was sitting here. I wouldn't have taken that one off. I would have taken that one off because that one would have been in profit. Yeah. So I always want to make sure when I'm taking a partial profit on a position, which I think is going to continue, or, and this is why I took it off, what I was anticipating was potentially today having a pullback and drop, in which case I would have added that back on again and taken profit from it twice. I just want to make sure that I've got something in profit, i.e. the move is going our way enough that we haven't got drawdown on every single trade within the position. Target, obviously, for the Swiss franc would be easy out here. I'd be stupid to take profit there, I think. If we get down to 125 ADR today, for example, I can take the whole thing off. I'll look at my entire portfolio and make a decision on that when I get there. But with that moving down to there and then having the news coming out tomorrow morning at 7:30, if that is positive, we're going to find ourselves on another ADR day tomorrow, which means big profits. And obviously we're coming out of September, and August wasn't great, was it? August only made about 7%. So over the last 2 months, I'm coming out of the market at the moment with pretty much a break even. Not good. So I've got some money to make. So I'm going to try and hold a little bit longer on that one. But that's coming down very nicely at the moment. Euro CAD, two longs off on Friday, and average is here. So pretty much, so close to break even on it. It's silly, but pound, Euro New Zealand, longs on that one. I've got 3 longs on that one. This one's struggling a little bit more New Zealand dollar strength potentially coming through this morning, or maybe that's Euro weakness, but that's come off of that propulsion gap. So we might be putting another leg in on this. It's very due a pullback. If it does another leg, obviously it's just getting more extended. The more extended it gets, the bigger that move's going to be. So that's fine. Not going anywhere particularly fast. Pounds, I've got the pound CAD on long. One off on Friday. That was the entry that was from Wednesday. I took off on Friday. 2 ADR push. Stupid not to take any profit off because it's highly likely it's going to want to pull back. So far, not today. If we put in another couple of ADR moves, happy days. But there's average, very, very close to average. Only got 3 on this now, pound CAD. So it's not a problem. Pound New Zealand, what's the time? 26, got to go in a sec. Pound New Zealand got 3 on. This is pretty much the same as the Euro New Zealand. This New Zealand dollar is really holding everything down at the moment. So there's no news on the New Zealand dollar this week. Oh, sorry, of course there is. No news. We've got the rates coming out this week. So the market is rallying into that. I don't think when we get this coming out at a 5.5, we're going to get any strength on that. So I think this Aussie and this New Zealand dollar, potentially, if we get these as expected, both of those will probably tank. If I get the feeling we might get a bullish move on that, though, which will help the New Zealand, but then they'll give that a freeze, which will undo it. So I get the feeling this week it looks like the market's rallying into it, doesn't it? But I get the feeling when they get it, it's going to be not as good as we thought and undo the whole thing. So the pound is very, very, very overdue a pullback. So as we know, it's been crushed. And it's just started with the US dollar. So we'll see where we go with these. But the pound US didn't get out of anything on this last week because it didn't have anything to get out of with it. But average is here at 175 ADR. So I'm looking for a leg up into propulsion. I'm looking to come back and retest this balance. Yeah. So I'm looking at this as one massive price discovery. I'll look to get out of it. It's not going to be a win. It's going to be a loss regardless. But if I can get out of it this week up there somewhere with a bit of a pound rally or a bit of US dollar weakness, fantastic. So nice big push to the open with that US dollar weakness. New Zealand Swiss got shorts on, only 3 on that at the moment. That's coming down nicely. All these Swiss francs, we just had reverse alerts put in on those. So again, 7:30 tomorrow morning, we'll find out what the Swissie's going to do. Fingers crossed we get a positive above 0 inflation figure, in which case then we're just going to get a nice rally on the Swiss and everything will come down against it. New Zealand yen, I've got short as well. This is a little bit of an overexposure because I've got the Aussie yen on and the New Zealand yen. Obviously, the news announcements this week are going to drive the Aussie and the New Zealand. They will both go. But I'm looking for that yen move to come down. If we keep pushing, if this US dollar yen keeps pushing, which I'm also in, the Japanese are going to intervene anyway. So the Aussie yen, the New Zealand yen, and the US yen are all going to come down. So I don't really care. I might just take a little bit too much heat on it. That's the only thing that worries me about it. But is what it is. I'm happy to take heat with a big reward. US dollar Swiss, finally. Coming down nicely this morning. This has got potential to be the perfect storm this week. This US dollar is weakening really nicely. They almost went bankrupt again at the weekend, didn't they? The US So market not very happy about it. As you can see, if that Swiss franc comes out with a positive inflation tomorrow, we're down here. Looking to get out down there, basically. A complete undoing of the interest rates on the Swiss franc. That's the target. Both TPs down there. Okay. There you go. So that's what I've got on. Ta-da! That was quick, wasn't it? Got to be, because I've got to go. Don't forget my car service. Thank you, Fuel Feeder. I haven't forgotten. They're a bit flexible. It's BMW. They don't care. So yeah, rallies up to yesterday's high. So I'm going to take the car away now. And hopefully by the time I get back, we'll have hit target and pull back and I'll be out of that very nicely. That's the plan. So we'll see what happens, but hedged in at the minute. So, okay, I'll leave you there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Telegram today. I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20 for the US session. We'll trade the indices, US indices as normal. Back tomorrow morning at 7:50 for Frankfurt as normal. So sorry, it's a bit of a rush this morning, but got to go and get stuff done in the real world. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on what's going on with the DAX position in Telegram, but we'll look at everything FX this afternoon in a bit more detail. And I'll have a look at that either video or blog post for last month, do the analysis on it basically. So, all right, have a good one. Have a good morning. If I don't see you this afternoon, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take the car away and bring back the Lambo. No, I'm getting a 3 Series, unfortunately, Ian. Although they have got a nice M2 competition. So I might see if I can twist their arm to get the M2 competition. But as a loan car, I don't think they're going to give me one of those. So probably going to be a boring 3 Series Beamer, which is fine. It's only for today. I don't care. But yeah, that'd be nice. Right, have a good day. I will see you later. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good morning.